A great tragedy has ended. A great victory has been won. The skies no longer rain death. The seas bear only truth. Men everywhere walk upright in the sunlight. The entire world lies quietly at peace. The holy mission has been completed. And in reporting this to you, the people, I speak for the thousands of silent lips forever stilled among the jungles and the beaches and in the deep waters of the Pacific, which mark the way. I speak for the unnamed brave millions homeward bound to take up the challenge of that future which they did so much to salvage from the brink of disaster. As I look back on the long, tortuous trail from those grim days of Bataan and Corregidor, when an entire world lived in fear, when democracy was on the defensive everywhere, when modern civilization trembled in the balance, I thank a merciful God that He has given us the faith, the courage, and the power from which to move victory. We have known the bitterness of defeat and the exaltation of triumph, and from both we have learned there can be no turning back. We must go forward to preserve in peace what we won in war. A new era is upon us. Even the lesson of victory itself brings it profound concern, both for our future security and the survival of civilization. The destructiveness of the war potential through progressive
Точно! Выходим!
My fellow countrymen, today the guns are silent. A great tragedy has ended. A great victory has been won. The skies no longer rain death. The seas bear only commerce. Men everywhere walk upright in the sunlight. The entire world lies quietly at peace. The holy mission has been completed. And in reporting this to you, the people, I speak for the thousands of silent lips forever stilled among the jungles and the beaches and in the deep waters of the Pacific, which mark the way. I speak for the unnamed brave millions homeward bound to take up the challenge of that future which they did so much to salvage from the brink of disaster. As I look back on the long, tortuous trail from those grim days of Bataan and Corregidor, when an entire world lived in fear, when democracy was on the defensive everywhere, when modern civilization trembled in the balance, I thank a merciful God that He has given us the faith, the courage, and the power from which to move victory. We have known the bitterness of defeat and the exaltation of triumph. And from both, we have learned there can be no turning back. We must go forward to preserve in peace what we won in war. A new era lesson of victory itself brings it profound concern, both for our future security and the survival of civilization. The destructiveness of the war potential through progressive advances in scientific discovery has, in fact, now reached a point which revises the traditional concept of war. Men, since the beginning of time, have sought peace. Various methods through the ages have been attempted to devise an international process to prevent or settle disputes between nations. From the very start, workable methods were found insofar as individual citizens were concerned. But the mechanics of an instrumentality of larger international scope have never been successful. Military alliances, balances of power, leagues of nations, all in turn failed, leaving the only path to be by way of the crucible of war. The utter destructiveness of war now blots out this alternative. We have had our last chance. If we do not devise some greater and more equitable system, Armageddon will be at our door. The problem, basically, is theological and involves a spiritual recrudescence and improvement of human character that will synchronize with our almost matchless advance in science, art, literature, and all material and cultural developments of the past 2,000 years. It must be of the spirit if we are to save the flesh. We stand in Tokyo today, reminiscent of our countryman Commodore Perry 92 years ago. His purpose was to bring to Japan an era of enlightenment and progress by lifting the veil of isolation to the friendship, trade, and commerce of the world. But alas, the knowledge thereby gained of Western science was forged into an instrument of oppression and human enslavement. Freedom of expression, freedom of action, even freedom of thought were denied through suppression of liberal education, through appeal to superstition, and through the application of force. We are committed by the Potsdam Declaration of Principles to see that the Japanese people are liberated from this condition of slavery. It is my purpose to implement this commitment just as rapidly as the armed forces are demobilized and other essential steps taken to neutralize the war potential. The energy of the Japanese race, if properly directed, will enable expansion vertically rather than horizontally. If the talents of the race are turned into constructive channels, the country can lift itself from its present deplorable state into a position of dignity. To the Pacific Basin has come the vista of a new, emancipated world. Today, freedom is on the offensive. Democracy is on the march. Today, in Asia as well as in Europe, unshackled peoples are tasting the full sweetness of liberty, the relief from fear. In the Philippines, America has evolved a model for this new free world of Asia. In the Philippines, America has demonstrated that peoples of the East and peoples of the West may walk side by side in mutual respect and with mutual benefit. The history of our sovereignty there has now the full confidence of the East. And so, my fellow countrymen, today I report to you that your sons and daughters have served you well and faithfully with a calm, deliberate determined fighting spirit of the American soldier and sailor, based upon a tradition of historical traits, as against the fanaticism of an enemy supported only by mythological fiction. Their spiritual strength and power has brought us through to victory. They are homeward bound. Take care of them.
Готов!
Офицеры армии и флота, генералы и адмиралы, товарищи рабочие и работницы, колхозники и колхозницы, работники науки, техники и искусства, служащие советских учреждений и предприятий. Боевые друзья, от имени и по поручению советского правительства и Всесоюзной коммунистической партии большевиков приветствую и поздравляю вас с великой победой над германским империализмом. Сегодня столица нашей Родины, Москва, от имени Родины
Так точно!
чествует доблестных советских воинов, одержавших эту победу. Сегодня воины-победители пронесут по улицам Москвы и мимо стен Щитого Кремля свои боевые знамена, покрытые бессмертной славой многочисленных побед. 4 года назад немецко-фашистские полчища по-разбойничьи напали на нашу страну. Советский народ вынужден был оставить мирный труд и взяться за оружие, чтобы отстоять честь, свободу и независимость своего Отечества. Война с фашистской Германией, этим коварным и сильным врагом, явилась для нас тяжелым и грустным испытанием. Однако наш советский народ, наша Красная Армия не падали духом, отразив натиск немецких войск. Красная Армия перешла в решительное наступление, очистила от врага советскую землю, перенесла войну на территорию Германии, наглую, разгромила гитлеровскую армию и водрузила знамя победы над Берлином. Соединенными усилиями великих держав Советского Союза, Соединенных Штатов Америки и Великобритании, фашистская Германия повержена в прах. Ее чудовищная военная машина разрушена. Преступное гитлеровское правительство уничтожено. Очаг немецко-фашистской агрессии в Европе ликвидирован. Человечество избавлено от своего злейшего врага германского фашизма. жалость против вооруженных сил Германии и ее сателлитов. В Отечественной войне Красная армия честью оправдала великое доверие народа. Ее славные воины достойно выполнили свой долг перед Родиной. Красная армия не только отстояла свободу и независимость нашего Отечества, но и избавила от немецкого ига народы Европы. Отныне и навсегда наша победоносная Красная армия войдет в мировую историю как армия-освободительница, овеянная ореолом немеркнущей славы. Отечественная война завершена. Одержана победа, какой еще не знала история. Источниками этой великой победы являются наш социалистический строй, мудрое руководство большевистской партии, правильная политика советского правительства, морально-политическое единство народа нашей страны, исполинская сила Красной армии и доблестный труд советского народа. Товарищи, победу над германским империализмом мы завоевали ценой тяжелых жертв. Жестоких битвах с врагом стало смерть храбрых много наших боевых друзей, лучших сынов и дочерей нашего народа. Сегодня день великого торжества. Почтим их священную память и произнесем вечная слава героям. Наши стоят за нашу советскую родину. Товарищи, сегодняшний день пойдет в историю отчетной демонстрации силы и могущества нашего государства и его вооруженных сил. Здравствует наша победа! Слава победоносным воинам, отстоявшим честь, свободу и независимость нашей Родины! Слава великому советскому народу, народу-победителю!
Брось! Выходим!
So our Prime Minister has come back from his third and greatest journey, and he said
that the settlement of the Czechoslovakian problem, which
Смирно!
has now been achieved, is, in my view, only the prelude to a larger settlement
Выходим!
in which all Europe may find peace. This morning,
Выходим!
I had another talk with the German Chancellor, Herr Hitler. And here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine.
Готов!
Some of you perhaps have already heard what it contains, and I would just like to read it to you. We, the German Führer and Chancellor, and the British Prime Minister have had a further meeting today and are agreed in recognizing that the question of Anglo-German relations is of the first importance for the two countries and for Europe. We regard the agreement signed last night and the Anglo-German naval agreement as symbolic symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another again. We are resolved that the method of consultation shall be the method adopted
Так точно!
to deal with any other questions that may concern our two countries, and we are determined to continue our efforts to remove possible sources of difference and thus to contribute to assure the peace of Europe.
Мирно!
Mr. Speaker, the disastrous military events which have happened during the past fortnight have not come to me with any sense of surprise. Indeed, I indicated a fortnight ago, as clearly as I could to the House, that the worst possibilities were open. And I made it perfectly clear that whatever happened in France would make no difference to the resolve of Britain and the British Empire to fight on, if necessary for years, if necessary alone. I have thought it right upon this occasion to give the House and the country some indication of the solid, practical grounds upon which we base our inflexible resolve to continue the war. There are a good many people who say, never mind, win or lose, sink or swim, better die than submit to tyranny, and such a tyranny. And I do not dissociate myself from them. But I can assure them that our professional advisors of the three services unitedly advise that we should carry on the war, and that there are good and reasonable hopes of final victory. We have fully informed and consulted all the self-governing dominions. These great communities, far beyond the oceans, who have been built up on our laws and on our civilization, and who are absolutely free to choose their course, but are absolutely devoted to the ancient motherland, and who feel themselves inspired by the same emotions which leads me to stake our all upon duty and honor. We do not yet know what will happen in France, or whether the French resistance will be prolonged, both in France and in the French Empire as a peace. The French government will be throwing away great opportunities and casting adrift their future if they do not continue the war in accordance with their treaty obligations, from which we have not felt able to release them. The House will have read the historic declaration in which it is the desire of many Frenchmen and of our own hearts, we have proclaimed our willingness at the darkest hour in French history to conclude a
Готов?
union of common citizenship in this struggle. However matters may go in France or with the French government or other French governments, we in this island and in the British Empire will never lose our sense of comradeship with the French. If we are now called upon to endure what they have been suffering, we shall emulate their courage. And if final victory rewards our toil
беспечности от настроения мирного строительства, то непонятно, что военное время, но пагубно в настоящее время. Это война коренным образом изменила положение. Враг жесток и неумолим. Он ставит своей целью захват наших земель, перед их нашим флотом. Захват нашего жира и нашей нефти, перед их нашим трудом. Он ставит своей целью расположение власти помещиков, восстановление царизма, разрушение национальной культуры и национальной государственности
Так точно!
украинцев, белорусов, литовцев, латышей, эстонцев, узбеков, татар, молдаван, грузин, армян, азербайджанцев и других свободных стран Советского Союза. Их аннулирование, их превращение в рабов, их князей и баронов. И наведет таким образом о жизни и смерти советского государства. О жизни и смерти
Смирно!
о том, быть народом Советского Союза свободным. И мы даст порабощение. Можно, чтобы советские дипломы перестали быть безводными, чтобы они организовали себя и перестроили свою работу на новый, военный лад, не знающий пощады врагов. Необходимо войне, чтобы в наших рядах не было места критикам и трусам, паникерам и дезертирам, чтобы наши люди не знали страха в борьбе, самоотверженно шли на нашу отечественную освободительную войну против фашистских проводителей. Великий Ленин, создавший наше государство, говорил, что основным качеством советских людей должно быть храбрость, отвага, незнание страха в борьбе, готовность биться вместе с народом против врагов нашей Родины. Необходимо, чтобы это великолепное качество большевиков стало достоянием миллионов и миллионов Красной Армии, нашего Красного Флота и всех народов Советского Союза. Мы должны немедленно перестроить всю нашу работу на военный лад.
Не стоим, идем!
So our Prime
Выходим!
Minister has come back from his third and greatest journey, and he said,
With the settlement of the Czechoslovakian problem, which has now been achieved, is, in my view, only the prelude to a larger settlement in which all Europe may find peace. This morning, I had another talk with the German Chancellor, Herr Hitler. And here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well
Royce!
as mine.
Я готов!
Some of you perhaps have already heard what it contains. But I would just like to read it to you. We, the German Führer and Chancellor, and the British Prime Minister have had a further
Так
meeting
точно.
today and are agreed in recognizing that the question of Anglo-German relations is of the first importance for the two countries and for Europe. We regard the agreement signed last night and the Anglo-German naval agreement as symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another again. We are resolved that the method of consultation shall be the method adopted to deal with any other questions
Смирно!
taken here in our two countries. And we are
Выходим!
determined to continue our efforts to remove
Выходим!
possible sources of difference, thus
Выходим!
contribute to a sure peace of Europe.
Выходим! Выходим!
личностей от настроения мирного строительства. Вполне понятно, что в военное время, но пагубно в настоящее время, когда война коренным образом изменила положение. Враг жесток и неумолим. Он ставит своей целью захват наших земель, порить их нашим током. Захват нашего хранящей нефти, порить их нашим трудом. Он ставит своей целью расположение власти помещиков, расположение царизма, разрушение национальной культуры и национальной государственности русских, украинцев, белорусов, литовцев, латышей, эстонцев, узбеков, татар, молдаван,
Мирно!
грузин, армян, азербайджанцев и других свободных стран Советского Союза. Их онемечение, их превращение в рабов немецких княжеств и баронов. Это ведет таким образом о жизни и смерти советского государства, о жизни и смерти народа СССР, о том, быть народом Советского Союза свободным или даст порабощение. Можно, чтобы советские дипломы перестали быть беззаботными, чтобы они могли судят, перестроить свою работу на новый военный лад, не знающий пощады врагу. Необходимо войне, чтобы в наших рядах не было места нытикам и трусам, аникерам и дезертирам, чтобы наши люди не знали страха в борьбе, самоотверженно шли на нашу отечественную освободительную войну против фашистских проводителей.
Так точно!
Великий Ленин создал наше государство, говорил, что основным качеством советских
Выходим!
храбрость, отвага,
Выходим!
страх в борьбе, готовность биться вместе с народом против врагов нашей Родины. Необходимо, чтобы
Так
это
точно!
великолепное качество большевика стало достоянием миллионов и миллионов Красной Армии,
Готов!
нашего Красного флота и всех народов Советского Союза. Мы должны немедленно перестроить всю нашу работу на военный лад, все подчинить интересам фронта и задачам организации разгрома врага. Народы Советского Союза видят теперь, что германский фашист неукротим в своей бешеной злобе и ненависти к нашей Родине, обеспечившей
Так
всем
точно!
трудящимся свободный труд и благосостояние. Народы Советского Союза должны подняться на защиту своих прав, своей земли, против врага.
Мирно!
Красный флот и все граждане Советского Союза должны отстаивать каждую часть советской земли. Драться до последней капли крови за наши города и села, проявлять смелость, инициативную свободу, свойственную нашему народу. Мы должны организовать всестороннюю помощь Красной Армии, обеспечить усиленное пополнение ее рядов, обеспечить ее снабжение всем необходимым, организовать быстрое продвижение транспорта с войсками
Брось!
и военной группой, широкую помощь раненым. Мы должны укрепить тыл Красной Армии, подчинить интересам этого дела всю свою работу, обеспечить усиленную работу всех предприятий, производить больше пулеметов, орудий, патронов, снарядов, самолетов, организовать охрану заводов, электростанций, телефонные и телеграфные связи, наладить действия в один воздушный оборот. Мы должны организовать беспощадную борьбу со всякими организаторами тыла, дезертирами, паникерами, распространителями слухов, уничтожать шпионов, диверсантов, вражеских парашютистов, оказывая волшебникам быстрое
Я готов!
нашим истребительным батальонам. Нужно иметь в виду, что враг коварен и не будем одиноки. Этой великой войне мы будем иметь верных союзников и народов Европы и Америки, в том числе в лице германского народа, провозглашенного гитлеровскими заправилами. Наша война за свободу нашего Отечества зальется с борьбой народов Европы и Америки за их независимость, за демократические свободы. Это будет единый фронт народов, стоящих за свободу, против порабощения и угрозы порабощения со стороны фашистских армий Гитлера. В этой связи историческое выступление премьера Великобритании господина Черчилля по помощи Советскому Союзу и декларация правительства Соединенных Штатов Америки по готовности оказать помощь нашей стране, а также благодарности всех прав народов Советского Союза являются вполне понятными и показательными.
Ройсь!
I am speaking to you from the cabinet room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany. You can imagine what a bitter blow it is to me that all my long struggle to win peace has failed. Yet I cannot believe.
Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation, and at solicitation of Japan, still in conversation with its government and its emperor, looking toward the maintenance of peace in the Pacific. Indeed, 1 hour after Japanese air squadrons had commenced bombing in the American island of Oahu, the Japanese ambassador to the United States and his colleague delivered to our Secretary of State a formal reply to a recent American message. And while this reply stated that it seemed useless to continue the existing diplomatic negotiations, it contained no threat or hint of war or of armed attack. It will be recorded that the distance of Hawaii from Japan makes it obvious that the attack was deliberately planned many days or even weeks ago. During the interview, the Japanese government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost. In addition, American ships have been reported torpedoed on the high seas between San Francisco and Honolulu. Yesterday, the Japanese government also launched an attack against Malaya. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Hong Kong. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Guam. Last night, Japanese forces attacked the Philippine Islands. Last night, the Japanese attacked Wake Island. And this morning, the Japanese attacked Midway Island. Japan has therefore undertaken a surprise offensive extending throughout the Pacific area. The facts of yesterday and today speak for themselves. The people of the United States have already formed their opinions and well understand the implications to the very life and safety of our nation. As Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, I have directed that all measures be taken for our defense, but always will our whole nation remember the character of the onslaught against us. No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
This is the voice of freedom, General MacArthur speaking. People of the Philippines, I have returned. By the grace of Almighty God, our forces stand again on Philippine soil, soil consecrated in the blood of our two people. We have come, dedicated and committed to the task of destroying every vestige of enemy control over your daily lives, and of restoring upon a foundation of indestructible strength the liberties of your people. At my side is your president, Sergio Osmeña, worthy successor of that great patriot, Manuel Quezon, with members of his cabinet. The seat of your government is now, therefore, firmly reestablished on Philippine soil. The hour of your redemption is here. Your patriots have demonstrated an unswerving and resolute devotion to the principles of freedom that challenges the best that is written on the pages of human history. I now call upon your supreme effort that the enemy may know from the temper of an aroused and outraged people within that he has a force there to contend with no less violent than is the force committed from without. Rally to me. Let the indomitable spirit of Bataan and Corregidor lead on. As the lines of battle roll forward to bring you within the zone of operations, rise and strike. Strike at every favorable opportunity. For your homes and hearts, strike. For future generations of your sons and daughters, strike. In the name of your sacred dead, strike. Let no heart be faint. Let every arm be sealed. The guidance of divine God points the way. Follow in his name to the holy grail of righteous victory. Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight...
This is a talk on national security, because the nub of the whole purpose of your president is to keep you now and your children later and your grandchildren much later out of a last-ditch war for the preservation of American independence and of all the things that American independence means to you and to me and to ours. Never before since Jamestown and Plymouth Rock has our American civilization been in such danger as now. The Nazi masters of Germany have made it clear that they intend not only to dominate all life and thought in their own country, but also to enslave the whole of Europe, and then to use the resources of Europe to dominate the rest of the world.
Mr. Speaker, on Friday evening last, I received His Majesty's commission to form a new administration. It was the evident wish and will of Parliament and the nation that this should be conceived on the broadest possible basis, and that it should include all parties, both those who supported the late government and also the parties of the opposition. I have completed the most important part of this task. A war cabinet has been formed of 5 members, representing, with the Liberal opposition, the unity of the nation. The 3 party leaders have agreed to serve either in the war cabinet or in high executive office. The 3 fighting services have been filled. It was necessary that this should be done in one single day, on account of the extreme urgency and rigor of events. A number of other key positions were filled yesterday, and I am submitting a further list to His Majesty tonight. I hope to complete the appointment of the principal ministers during tomorrow. The appointment of the other ministers usually takes a little longer, but I trust that when Parliament meets again, this part of my task will be completed, and that the administration will be complete in all respects. Sir, I considered it in the public interest to suggest that the House should be summoned to meet today. Mr. Speaker agreed and took the necessary steps, in accordance with the powers conferred upon him by the resolution of the House. At the end of the proceedings today, the adjournment of the House will be proposed until Tuesday, the 21st of May, with, of course, provision for earlier meeting if need be. The business to be considered during that week will be notified to members at the earliest opportunity. I now invite the...
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine,
the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940-41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle and delay. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the
Так
air
точно.
and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
Готов?
Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation, and at solicitation of Japan, still in conversation with its government and its emperor, looking for the maintenance of peace in the Pacific. Indeed, 1 hour after Japanese air squadrons had commenced bombing in the American island of Oahu, the Japanese ambassador to the
Готов?
United States and his colleague delivered to our Secretary of State a formal reply to a recent American message. And while this reply stated that it seemed useless to continue the existing diplomatic negotiations, it contained no threat or hint of war or of armed attack. It will be recorded that the distance of Hawaii from Japan makes it obvious that the attack was deliberately
Занимаю
planned
укрытие.
many days or even weeks ago. During the intervening time, the Japanese
This was a great trial of strength between the British and German air forces. Can you conceive a greater objective for the Germans in the air than to make evacuation from these beaches impossible? And to think all these ships which were displayed almost to the extent of thousands. Could there have been an objective of greater military importance and significance? For the whole purpose of the war was this. They tried hard, and they were beaten back. They were frustrated in their task. We got the army away, and they have paid fourfold for any losses which they have incurred. Sir, when we consider how much greater would be our advantage in defending the air above this island against an overseas attack, I must say that I find in these facts a sure basis upon which practical and reassuring thoughts may rest. I will pay my tribute to these young airmen, the great French army was very largely, for the time being, cast back and disturbed by the onrush of a few thousand of armored vehicles. May it not also be that the core of civilization itself will be defended by the skill and devotion of a few thousand airmen? There never has been, I suppose, in all the world, in all the history of war, such an opportunity for use. The Knights of the Round Table, the Crusaders, all fall back into the past. Not only distant, but prosaic. These young men going forth every morn to guard their native land and all that we stand for, holding in their hands these instruments of colossal and shattering power, of whom it may be said that every morn brought forth a noble chance, and every chance brought forth a noble night, deserve our gratitude, and do all the brave men, in so many ways and on so many occasions, are ready and continue ready to give life and all for their native land. And nevertheless, our thankfulness at the escape of our army and so many men whose loved ones have passed through an agonizing week must not blind us to the fact that what happened in France and Belgium is a colossal military disaster. The French army has been weakened, the Belgian army has been lost, a large part of those fortified lines upon which so much faith had been reposed is gone. Many valuable mining districts and factories have passed into the enemy's possession. The whole of the Channel ports are in his hands, with all the tragic consequences that follow from that. And we must expect another blow to be struck almost immediately at us or at France. We are told, sir, that Herr Hitler has a plan for invading the British Isles. This has often been thought of before. When Napoleon lay at Boulogne for a year with his flat-bottom boats and his grand army, he was told by someone, there are bitter weeds in England. There are certainly a great many more of them since the British expeditionary force returned. Sir, I have myself full confidence that if all do their duty, if nothing is neglected, and if the best arrangements are made, as they are being made, we shall prove ourselves once more able to defend our island home, to ride out the storm of war, and to outlive the menace of tyranny, if necessary for years, if necessary alone. At any rate, that is what we are going to try to do. That is the resolve of His Majesty, every man. That is the will of Parliament,